Ian Fitzpatrick. He is the Chief Strategy Officer with Almighty. Thank you so much for speaking with me today.
Thank you.
So we're talking about this movement in getting outdoors alongside other people. I mean, sometimes these really competitive obstacle courses literally through mud. Tell me a little bit more about this new trend.
It's driven to me by a couple things, right? It's driven by this notion of social events, right? Everything from joining into a club to do a 5K to running a relay race. So relay races are growing at the same rate. In fact, probably very, very much the same way as something like endurance races. And I think a lot of it's driven by the desire to be part of something that you can do that isn't predicated simply on performance and something you can do with other people. Look, we're sitting behind our devices and we want to connect physically with other people. And one way to do that is to participate with them, forgetting about completing under a time or clearing a hurdle, but in finishing and doing it together.
I know that we also want to really connect with our groups of peers. I mean, I jumped out of an airplane once, or more technically rolled out of an airplane. But the first thing I wanted to do was take a picture and show everybody and really stick with the people that had been on the plane with me because it was such a significant experience.
And the second thing you probably wanted to do was to go back and bring new people to experience the thrill that you had. And I think that's what was so interesting about this panel that we did today is this notion that a Tough Mudder alum, in fact, goes back then and is responsible for, not for recruiting other people into it, but ensuring that the people who run it next are able to finish, right? That your job becomes about Sherpa once you've scaled the summit. And I really like the idea that there's a world of events growing that will allow you to participate at that level.
So you just described the magic that marketers are looking for, organic loyalty, wanting to come back and share and be a part of things. What can they learn from this? Either why is this happening or how can they participate? I mean, what do we need to know?
I always go back to the line, there's a wonderful line from a guy named Mike Arouse, he's over at Undercurrent, and he talks about this idea that I share because I like my friends, not because I like your brand. Right? I don't share your stuff because I like you. I share it because I love the people that I share it with. And I think it comes back to how do you create an experience that you're part of either as a sponsor or as a facilitator that is worth me talking about with other people. And to me, that means the thing I was talking about a minute ago, allowing me to participate on many levels. Let me come in as a newbie and help me finish. Then let me come in and bring other people to it and facilitate that for me. How do you become a sponsor, not of my team, but of my experience, is a really interesting idea. Rather than just sponsoring the race, how do you make running it better?
Okay, so you do work with New Balance. What does this look like for them? I mean, is it about the logo, the product, or the experience, like you just said?
I think it's less about wrapping the event in your name, in your banner, putting up signage. I don't think that provides the kind of value that people go to experiences for. To me, it's about what can you do to make it better? Can you take my results and automatically post them to my social channels? Can you connect me in a way that everybody back home gets to see me and I don't have to carry my camera around the course? Can you facilitate a great way for me to get my gear when it's done? How do you make the experience frictionless and better for everybody involved rather than simply throwing your logo on something that you may or may not understand? Yeah. Essential to this is these are different kinds of events. This isn't run for the same reason that you run a marathon. And it's not something that people do for the same reason that they play competitive baseball or that they play in a basketball pickup league. This is an entirely different set of behaviors.
It's kind of fun to ask the negative side of the coin then also. What's the worst thing a brand could do if they're trying to enter this space?
I think the worst thing that a brand could do is decide that this is about being extreme, decide that this is a tip of the spear type activity, decide that pushing the danger of it is the way to go. This is not about people pushing themselves to the limits. That's for ultramarathoning and skydiving. This is about people being part of something bigger than they are. This is about being part of a club that forms on the fly, about belonging, right? And a brand that doesn't understand that this is about membership and belonging and collegiality is going to come in and talk about performance or man versus nature, and it's often not about that.
Final question. I don't know if you're going to have an answer for this. I don't know if I would either.
I don't have answers.
If you're going to form your own team right now, I mean, we've heard about fat guys make bad ninjas. What would you call your team?
I would probably join that one.
I was thinking the same thing.
Right. The idea of I think what's really wonderful is that when they as an event, when they as an organization can embrace the idea of fat guys make bad ninjas, then what you're doing is you're making something that sounds difficult approachable. Yeah. Right. I love the idea that they have teams that are built that I can be part of without having to feel intimidated.
Lots of lessons in this one, you guys. Go back and kind of replay this and pick out the good stuff. Ian from Almighty, thank you so much.
Thank you.